There are numerous cardboard boxes on the shelves. There is nothing abnormal about them. Hi, I'm Jemimon.
Iba, the jokes, you've gotta stop.
A forklift. It doesn't seem like it's in use. It was likely just left here. A switchboard. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. A crane on the ceiling. Nothing has changed. You first arrived here yesterday at 9 p.m. At that time, lying on this workbench was...
Iris's dead body, covered with a white cloth.
But the second time,
The corpse was gone.
it was 11:25 p.m. But the body could not have simply vanished. Crime scene investigation was here before 11:25 p.m.
When did they arrive?
According to the report, 10:30 p.m. After we finished syncing with So.
It took them an hour and a half to get here?
Correct.
Why did it take them so long?
Unknown. The report does not specify. Perhaps a result of outside influence.
Outside influence?
In any case, there is nothing of note about the bench. Examining it will not reveal any further information. A forklift. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. That machine is used to cut ice. Do they store ice here? There are only a few items on the shelf. It is likely that this warehouse isn't in regular use. It's a wooden box. There is nothing inside.
Nothing.
But finding nothing may, in fact, be something.
What do you mean?
I was just thinking out loud. Let's get going. Date, your temperature is dropping. At this rate, they might find your body in here. So Sajima is a key person of interest in this case. Earlier, the boss cited 3 points of suspicion against him, and I agree with her assessment. I checked the call logs of So's phones. Congressman Sajima has one phone under his name, and a burner phone rented under a fake name.
Did you find anything interesting?
Unfortunately, no.
Really?
But I do have something. I looked into So's secretary's phone. One call in particular stood out to me.
Huh?
It was 1 week ago. From Fuchu Prison. The caller identified themselves as inmate number 89.
Number 89?
Yes. This is most likely the same person who called HQ.
I know who killed Shogunadami.
When you crash, the first thing you hit is the dash.
Interesting.
Date. This reminds me of Egyptian mythology. Hathor, the mother of Ra. The mirror was one of her sacred symbols.
Wasn't she a cow or something?
This box is where you keep your doves.
It's not a dove box.
Unknown.
You don't know?
He is not registered in any databases. He could be a foreigner or recent immigrant, but it would be impossible to determine from where. However, I did not detect any accent in his speech. I believe we can conclude that he grew up in Japan. Murder. He is serving a life sentence for multiple counts. He was imprisoned 6 years ago.
6 years ago?
From what I can determine, he is an assassin. He accepts jobs from the criminal underworld for substantial rewards. His code name is Falco.
Falco?
Correct. Unknown. You would have to ask Mr. Sajima for that information.
Number 89 said he knew who killed Shogo.
He did. But that may be a lie.
Does he have any connections to the Cyclops serial killings?
Unknown. In all honesty, I have no idea.
Number 89.
Should we visit Fuchu Prison?
No, we don't have time. Call up boss. Tell her to request that number 89 be brought to Abyss.
Roger.
I heard there was no body found at the cold storage warehouse. Isn't your investigation over?
Speaking of gardens, what kind do you prefer?
I like a well-manicured lawn. But some bushes aren't bad either. I mean, what? Iba, look! A merman!
So is a wealthy politician. It is no surprise to me that he has a merman. Wait, a merman?
Oh, hey everybody! I'm a merman.
You are beginning to irritate me.
What did you want to talk to her about? What is the private matter you mentioned? What is your relationship with her?
I'll answer your questions when you present a warrant. How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know that girl. I've never seen her before.
Date.
I knew he was lying. This proves it.
I am having difficulty determining his motive for lying. After all, Iris was not killed.
Maybe he's got a secret with her he doesn't want us knowing. What are you hiding so?
I told you I will not answer that question.
And why not? We didn't find anything there. There's nothing to hide.
It appears that he will not respond.
Number 89? Who is that?
An inmate at Fuchu prison. He used to go by Falco. He was an assassin.
Odd, finding such a person in Japan. What about him?
About a week ago, he called your secretary.
I don't know anything about that. He was probably calling for a pardon or some such nonsense. My secretary probably decided it wasn't worth my attention. If you need information, you can ask her. I can't help you. Haven't you people got enough? I'm very busy, excuse me. Oh, actually, I do have one more thing to tell you. To be honest, Kaname Date, I don't like you. I don't ever want to see you again. So I suggest that you don't show your face here anymore. It's what's best for both of us, understand?
Who does this guy think he is?
Date, your blood pressure is skyrocketing. Any higher could kill you. Relax, Date. We still have much to do.
I know, I know.
I apologize for yesterday. I arrived uninvited.
No, I'm grateful. Thanks to you, Mizuki has her voice back.
No, I didn't do anything.
Date, a riddle. A man-eating alligator lives in a river. There are no bridges or boats. How do you cross?
Well, let's see. You jump across?
Wrong. The solution is simple. You just swim across.
But what about the man-eating alligator?
He's at a convention out of town. He isn't in the river.
I've been wondering about that picture.
Iris drew it when she was 12.
That's you on the left and Iris in the middle, correct?
Yes,
And who's on the right?
the man I was dating at the time. It was only for 3 months, but... I met him about 6 years ago. Have you been to the Ikume Shrine in the Minato district? I was praying there one day, and I heard a voice. Well, more like a groan. Behind the shrine, I saw a man sitting on the ground. He was bleeding badly from his stomach. I took out my phone to call an ambulance, but he grabbed my wrist, and he held me, and then... He kissed me. I was shocked, but when I stared into his eyes, then I heard footsteps, and then a bunch of men yelling. They were looking for him. When the voices and footsteps faded, he let me go. Don't call an ambulance, and don't call the cops. I knew he had to be a criminal, so I took him to an underground clinic I knew.
You took him to a mob doctor?
Renju's friend. I only met him once. Even though we had our first kiss seconds after meeting each other, it took a long time before I got to see him again. The first time we held hands was when we watched a horror movie together. The first time I took his arm was when we went to a haunted house in an amusement park. But I wasn't the one who grabbed him. A zombie jumped out and scared us, and he clung onto my arm. He had that cute side to him. And I was falling in love. Our second kiss was in the car. It's cliché, I know, but we drove around at night, looking at all the lights. We parked our car near a warehouse and kissed. I don't think we ever said I love you, but we both knew. We were getting closer and closer. I introduced him to Iris about a month after I first met him. Iris never had a father figure in her life before. She warmed up to him immediately and treated him like a real dad. From then on, it was always the three of us together. We would go to the beach, to the river, the zoo, the amusement park. Going to barbecues with another person was a new experience for me and Iris. Everything felt so fresh. Every day was so exciting. Oh, sorry. You asked about the picture. He wanted to make okonomiyaki one day. He was working with the hot plate. It was ridiculous. He was trying to flip one, and it flew up in the air and landed right on my head. Iris saw the whole thing and laughed and laughed. I hadn't seen her laugh like that in a long time. I was having so much fun that I put an okonomiyaki on their heads too. Plop, plop. I added the bonito flakes and mayo and sauce. At this point, there was no going back. Eggs flew, flour going everywhere. The room was not a pretty sight. After our battle, we laughed like crazy. We were rolling around on the floor. So Iris decided to draw it. It's nostalgic. But those days didn't last. 6 years ago, in November, a man with a gun broke into our house. Fortunately, Iris wasn't home at the time, but my boyfriend was. That's why the gunman came. He wanted to kill him. He wanted to kill him, and he would never stop. He pulled the trigger. I tried to protect him. The bullet hit me, but the police arrived. They were both arrested and incarcerated.
Why was he after your boyfriend?
Before he met me, he committed some terrible crime. I don't know the details, but it was awful. So he became a target for underworld criminals. I don't know exactly why, but I know that he betrayed them in some way.
May I ask you something?
Of course.
I had heard that that incident was a random break-in gone wrong.
Oh. That's not true. I lied about it at the time, because of Mizuki. Mizuki is Iris's friend. If she found out, Iris would find out too. I didn't want Iris to know.
Know what?
That I was dating a criminal. He was her father figure. Iris looked up to him. If she found out about his past... You asked me that yesterday. Right from the hospital? I'm sorry. I have no idea. Today's a holiday. I suppose there's never a day off for a detective. Oh, but you aren't a detective, right?
Technically, yes. But I still deal with crime.
I see. Today is a holiday.
You forgot too, didn't you?
I've put Iris through so much. I was 19 and single when she was born. People didn't take kindly to that. But Iris was such a fighter. She always protected me. I remember, one time at the nursery, some of the other mothers were talking about me. Iris ran up to them and said, "Don't talk about my mommy!" I'm supposed to be the mother, but it's Iris who's always protecting me. They died when I was 17. I was an orphan, and my relatives lived far away. They might have taken me in, but I was already in my second to last year of high school. It wasn't a good idea for me to move that late. So I decided to stay here, by myself.
And take care of Iris.
Yes, all alone. But Renju would help sometimes. It was always just me and her. Vacations, barbecues, zoos, amusement parks. Just me and her. Oh, that reminds me. When Iris was 5, there was a children's theater show in Bloom Park. It was called Milky Moon. It was about girls as magical space rangers and such. She loved singing and dancing, even as a kid. Whenever she heard music, her body would start moving. It was a quirk of hers. And she did it at the show, too. Toward the end, when all the Milky Moon girls were dancing to the ending song, Iris climbed up onto the stage and danced with them. I tried to stop her, of course. I grabbed her arm and tried to get her to sit, but before I knew it, she was up there, dancing. And everyone was so excited. Even I was dancing by the end of it. When it was over, she had the biggest smile on her face. "Mama, you're a good dancer." That's the kind of girl she was. Whenever she sees someone playing music on the street, she'll run up and join them, right then and there. Music at the train station, the crosswalk beeping, even at convenience stores, when their little chime played, she would start dancing. It almost got her into trouble once. She was on the jungle gym and a truck drove by. It was playing loud music out the windows. She climbed up to the top and started dancing, but she lost her balance and fell. She fractured her leg pretty badly. It was on a Sunday, and it was hard to find an open emergency care. I was carrying her on my back, running and running through town. I could still hear her crying. "Will I still be able to dance, Mommy? Can I still dance?" She cried and cried into my shoulder. It was the only time she ever cried so much. No, that's not true. There was one other time. "6 years ago, I was the victim of a shooting. After the surgery, Iris came in running, and she was sobbing.
Mommy, don't die! Don't die! Please don't die, Mommy! Don't die!
I swore to myself then that I would protect her, no matter what. Iris is everything to me, more important than my own life.
Date, we can't spend time reminiscing. We have to get moving.
Yeah, let's go.